What if what you most call love were, in truth, the most subtle chain of attachment? How many souls live imprisoned in family ties that drain their light, silence their essence, and suffocate the divine call that pulses insistently at the center of their being? Paramahansa Yogananda, with the courage of one who sees through the comfortable illusions that society calls virtues, declared, "The soul belongs to God, not to family. Love them deeply, but do not lose yourself in them." These words shock because they challenge the deepest identification most people carry, the illusion that you exist to satisfy expectations of people who share your blood. This teaching is not about cruel abandonment or cold rejection of those who gave you life. It's about inner liberation, about recognizing you are no one's possession, that your spiritual journey cannot be lived by proxy through family approval, that there is a sacred moment in every awakened life where you must choose between loyalty to external expectations or fidelity to the inner voice that knows your truth. On the earthly plane, family is field where karma ripens and old debts are settled. On the spiritual plane, it is school of the soul, never prison of personality. The devastating problem begins when love transforms into possession, when care becomes control disguised as concern, when devotion becomes emotional slavery, where you sacrifice who you really are on the altar of who they need you to be. Fleeing, in this deep and liberating sense, is not abandoning physically. It's returning to the sacred center of the soul, where no human bond, however precious, substitutes for or obstructs your direct connection with God. And here's the point almost no one dares consider. Perhaps the greatest act of love you can offer your family is freeing yourself from the neurotic need for their approval, living your truth so authentically that you become living a mirror of what spiritual freedom really means. True love always liberates. It trusts, allows, honors each soul's unique journey. Attachment, skillfully disguised as love, always demands, controls, manipulates through guilt and fear. Many live exhausted trying to meet endless family expectations about careers they must follow, partners they must choose, beliefs they must profess, roles they must perform, completely forgetting to be who they really are beyond all these imposed masks. The soul screams for authenticity, while the ego fears disappointing, fears rejection, fears the emptiness it imagines will come if you dare live your truth. So you bend, you mold, you contort into shapes that please others, but kill something essential inside you. Each time you betray your inner truth to maintain superficial peace, each time you silence your calling not to disturb, each time you live the life they expect instead of the life your soul came to experience, you die a little, gradually, silently. There was a young man who felt deep calling to contemplative life, to silence and meditation, but his family had other plans: lucrative career, traditional marriage, and continuation of family business. For years he tried to satisfy them, but sickened progressively, not physically in ways doctors could diagnose, but spiritually in ways only he felt. Until the day he finally found courage to say, "I love you deeply, but I can no longer live the life you imagined for me. I need to follow my soul's calling, even if you don't understand." The family was shocked, disappointed, even furious. But with time, seeing the peace and authenticity he radiated, some began questioning their own unlived lives. Fleeing, then, is not about kilometers of physical distance. It's about leaving behind the devastating illusion that you must be what they expect, that your worth depends on their approval, that you exist to complete your parents' unrealized dreams. Affirm with courage, "I honor my family by loving them in a way that preserves my integrity. I free them from responsibility of validating my existence. I belong first to God, then to myself, and through this connection, I can truly love all others." Every family is intense karmic laboratory, where the same souls meet incarnation after incarnation to finally heal old patterns, settle energetic debts, Learn lessons that couldn't be learned in less intense contexts. If you feel deep oppression in family dynamics, if there are toxic patterns repeating generation after generation, it's not accident or bad luck. It's precisely because the moment has come for you to transcend the cycle, not to perpetuate it unconsciously as all before did. Family karma dissolves not through passive submission or reactive rebellion, but through conscious response. You recognize patterns without identifying with them. You feel emotions without being commanded by them. You honor bonds without allowing them to imprison you. When you stop automatically reacting to family triggers and begin responding from center of awakened consciousness, you literally break karmic chains that bound not just you, but potentially future generations. There was a woman who came from lineage of deeply unhappy women, bitter grandmother, resentful mother, disillusioned aunts. The pattern was clear: women who completely sacrificed their dreams for families that didn't appreciate them, who lived in silent martyrdom, who transmitted this pain to daughters as poisoned inheritance. When this woman finally recognized the pattern, she made conscious choice. I break this cycle now. I will not carry this burden to the next generation. I will live authentically, even if this means disappointing old expectations. Her family judged her harshly at first, but her daughter grew up seeing completely different model woman who honored her truth, who established healthy boundaries, who loved without losing herself. The cycle was broken. Fleeing from family, in this deep spiritual sense, is freeing yourself from old roles that no longer reflect your current light. You may still live physically with them or near them, but internally you're no longer trapped in their definitions of you, in old stories about who you were, in expectations about who you should be. Practice. When you feel yourself being pulled back into old roles, breathe deeply and affirm, I recognize this karmic pattern. I choose to respond consciously instead of reacting unconsciously. I am free to be who I really am in this moment, not who I was in past or who others expect me to be. What most bothers you in your family members, their judgments, their limitations, their neuroses, is almost always distorted reflection of something still living denied within you. The soul chose them not to limit you cruelly, but to reveal your own shadow through the mirror that only those who know you most intimately can provide. Each irritation is information. Each conflict is opportunity to see aspects of yourself you'd prefer to ignore. But before fleeing physically in search of peace, you imagine will come from distance. It's essential to break internally with pattern of emotional dependence that keeps you imprisoned even when geographically distant. How many people change cities, countries, even continents, but carry their families internally as ghosts governing each decision, as critical voices commenting on each choice, as invisible weight that never diminishes with physical distance? There was a man who moved to another continent trying to escape controlling family. He thought oceans of distance would finally give him freedom. But he discovered with horror that even thousands of miles away, that he still made decisions based on what would my parents think, still felt guilty for choices they would disapprove, still carried their critical voices as constant internal judges. Physical distance didn't bring liberation because the prison was within him, not around him. Only when he finally did internal work of psychological separation, recognizing where they ended and where he began, true freedom emerged. Only when you free yourself internally, when you can be with them without losing yourself in them, when you can hear them without being commanded by them, when you can love them without needing their approval, does love finally become pure. Love without need, without obligation, without veiled manipulation, just compassionate presence that honors both your journey and theirs. Practice conscious observation. When with family, notice when you begin behaving in ways that aren't authentic. Notice when you become smaller, when you suppress truths, when you mold yourself to fit expectations. Simply notice without judgment, and in this conscious observation, space for change opens naturally. Affirm, I free myself internally from all roles that don't serve my truth. I love my family without losing myself in them. I am sovereign in my own being. In deep Hinduism, the sincere spiritual seeker is called sannyasin, one who consciously abandons all worldly attachments, including and especially family attachments, to seek direct union with the Absolute. This is not path for everyone, but points to universal truth. The soul cannot reach supreme realization while trapped in identifications that keep it small, limited, defined by temporary relationships instead of eternal essence. In Buddhism, awakening arises precisely when identification with family name, personal story ceases. All narratives that construct false sense of separate self. Buddha left palace, wife, newborn son, in search of truth that transcended all social roles. This is not literal prescription for all to abandon responsibilities, but deep symbolic teaching. You must be willing to release everything, even the most precious, to discover what is real beyond all temporary forms. In mystical Christianity, Jesus made declarations that scandalized. Who loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. I came to bring not peace but sword, to separate son from father, daughter from mother. These harsh words don't promote family division out of cruelty, but recognize difficult truth. Following authentic spiritual path frequently creates separation between you and those who choose to remain sleeping, even when they're your most beloved. The Christ within, your awakened consciousness, cannot be subjugated by external loyalties, even the most socially sacred. All traditions converge. The soul doesn't belong to earthly ties. It belongs to the eternal. But what if this liberation from family attachments weren't about becoming cold and indifferent, but about expanding your love beyond narrow boundaries of blood bonds? What if the purpose of transcending family identification were discovering all beings are your family at deeper level, that all creation is expression of the same one consciousness that created you? What few realize is you must first free yourself from small love, conditional love based on relationships and expectations, to discover great love, unconditional love that flows freely to all that lives. Close your eyes now and create interior space of deep quietude. Visualize before you, not with physical eyes, but with inner vision, the people of your family. See them clearly: parents, siblings, spouse, children, whoever occupies significant space in your emotional field. See them not as you'd like them to be, but exactly as they are, with all their limitations, their wounds, their shadows. Inhale deeply, filling yourself with golden light, and say mentally or verbally, I love them in the freedom of spirit. This is not empty affirmation, but recognition that true love never imprisons, never demands, never manipulates. You love them honoring their unique journey, even when this journey is different from what you'd choose for them. Exhale slowly and visualize threads of light, threads of attachment, dependence, expectations, resentments, dissolving gently between you and each of them. Don't cut with violence or anger. Dissolve with compassion, recognizing these threads were useful at some point, but now only limit everyone involved. See these threads dissolving like morning mist under rising sun until you see yourself connected to them, not by chains of attachment, but by light of genuine love. Love that permits, that honors, that liberates. Feel yourself connected but free, united at deep spiritual level but sovereign in your own existence. Repeat in silence several times, allowing words to penetrate deep layers. I belong to light, and light belongs to all. I am no one's property, nor is anyone my property. I honor all bonds without being imprisoned by any. I love my family deeply, but my supreme loyalty is to my soul's truth. Practice this exercise regularly, especially when feeling pulled back into old patterns of dependence or conflict. With repetition, you'll create real inner freedom that no external circumstance can further disturb. The soul doesn't need to abandon physical home. It needs to abandon identification with the family role the ego constructed as central identity. You can continue living in same house, fulfilling same practical responsibilities, but internally completely free because you're no longer defined by these functions. Fleeing, in this deeper and more liberating sense, is not departing, it's transcending. It's operating from center of consciousness that recognizes all roles as temporary, all relationships as sacred dance of souls learning together. When you truly awaken spiritually, you can continue among your own, but without imprisoning yourself in their pains, without identifying with their dramas, without losing yourself in their expectations. You become like lotus that lives in mud but is never stained by it. Your presence among them becomes blessing because you're no longer reacting from wounds, no longer perpetuating unconscious patterns, no longer participating in emotional games that kept everyone trapped. There was a woman who lived with extremely difficult elderly parents, critical, controlling, never satisfied. For years, she oscillated between two extremes, resentful submission or angry rebellion. Neither brought peace. Until she discovered the third way, remain physically but free herself internally. She continued caring for them diligently, but stopped seeking approval they were incapable of giving. Stopped defending herself against criticism because she no longer identified with the image they had of her. Stopped trying to change them because she recognized each soul has its own journey. And in this inner freedom, paradoxically, the relationship improved because she could finally be present without resentment, serve without martyrdom, love without losing herself. The supreme secret is this: love all beings deeply, but remain always free internally. Don't build your identity around any relationship, even the most sacred. Don't permit any bond, however precious, to become substitute for your direct connection with the divine. Affirm, I inhabit this body temporarily, perform these roles provisionally, but my essence is eternal and transcends all forms. I can be completely present in each relationship without being imprisoned in any. I love my family with all my heart, but not with all my soul, because my soul belongs uniquely to God. Practice silent love, serve when appropriate, help when possible, but without expecting recognition or gratitude. Do what must be done simply because it's aligned with your values, not because you expect something in return. This is liberation from vicious cycle of giving expecting to receive, of loving expecting to be loved, of sacrificing expecting to be valued. When you finally release all expectations, the weight you carried simply disappears. Don't try to change others, neither family nor anyone. This attempt to reform those around you is a subtle form of control born from ego that judges, not from love that accepts. Simply be the vibration that transforms through living example, not through preaching or coercion. When you authentically live your truth, when you radiate genuine peace, when you manifest inner freedom, others are touched profoundly, even if they never admit verbally. Your silent transformation is more powerful invitation than 1,000 words of unsolicited advice. Set sacred boundaries without guilt or elaborate justifications. Saying no when something violates your integrity is not selfishness. It's sacred preservation of energy you need to fulfill your highest purpose. Self-respect is the purest form of love, because only when you honor your own needs and limits can you genuinely honor others instead of building resentments that poison all relationships. Practice? No, this doesn't work for me. Complete phrase requiring no elaboration or defense. Allow yourself to distance when necessary, whether physically or emotionally, to keep soul's fire burning. There are moments in every spiritual journey where you need to withdraw from environments that constantly pull you back to old patterns, that criticize your growth, that ridicule your search. This distancing is not abandonment, it's spiritual self-preservation. Like young tree needs protection until its roots deepen, awakened soul needs protected space until its center is so established that no external storm can shake it anymore. Affirm, I create sacred space around me. I protect my peace with loving vigilance. I distance myself from all that threatens my connection with divine, not by judgment, but by wise discernment. When you finally free yourself from limiting family attachment, not rejecting people but transcending identifications, you discover all beings are your brothers and sisters at deeper level. The gardener caring for roses, the child playing in street, the stranger passing by, all are expressions of same one consciousness that created you. The entire world becomes your true family, billions of souls walking together, each at their own pace, all toward infinity that is shared home for all. Genuine compassion replaces control, masked as care, and love finally expands beyond narrow boundaries of blood and name. You can love the beggar on corner with same intensity you love child, because you recognize both are temporary manifestations of same eternal essence. You can serve a stranger with same dedication you'd serve Father, because you understand all division between mine when yours is illusion maintained by ego, still believing in fundamental separation. But what if true family was never defined by biological ties, but by resonance of souls? What if you find deeper connection with strangers who share your spiritual search than with relatives who share only your surname? What few dare accept is that spiritual family, those who recognize and support your awakening, can be infinitely more important for your soul's evolution than biological family that unconsciously tries to keep you small, safe, predictable. Thus, you cease belonging to a specific house and begin inhabiting God's heart, which is not located anywhere because it's everywhere, which favors no one because it loves all equally, which demands no exclusive loyalty because it recognizes everything is already one in essence. Affirm with truth that liberates, I am citizen of cosmos, not of particular family. I love my family members as I love all humanity, deeply but without attachment that imprisons. My supreme loyalty is to truth that transcends all temporary bonds. I inhabit not house of bricks, but infinite temple of universal consciousness. One who lives in God is always home, even when walking solitary through world without belonging to specific place or person. The soul that frees itself from prison of family attachment finds eternal rest not in physical address, but in spirit's invisible home. That interior space of absolute peace no external circumstance can disturb. True flight is not movement in space, but elevation in consciousness, flight back to primordial silence, where everything began and where everything eventually returns. If this message touched something deep in you, if these words named prisons you carried in silence without even recognizing, honor this awakening by leaving your like as affirmation. You're ready to choose inner freedom instead of external approval. Subscribe to continue receiving teachings that can liberate you from conditionings that governed your life for decades or entire lifetimes. Share this video with someone suffocating in family expectations and needs to hear there's another way of love without attachment, of honor without submission, of connection without loss of sovereignty. And leave in comments your own declaration of freedom. I am free in light, affirming to universe and to yourself, you choose loyalty to your soul's truth above all other loyalties. May blessing of divine presence envelop you in this journey of liberation, sustaining you in courage when family doesn't understand, in faith when it seems you're alone, in wisdom when guilt tries to pull you back. May you always remember that loving deeply without losing yourself is not selfishness, but spiritual maturity. That honoring your unique journey is not betrayal, but fidelity to purpose for which you were born. That distancing from toxic dynamics is not abandonment, but sacred self-preservation. You belong to no one except the truth that created you. You owe supreme loyalty to no human being, but only to divine voice whispering at the deepest center of your heart. You are free to love all without being imprisoned by anyone. free to honor bonds without being defined by them, free to serve without losing yourself in service. True family is that of spirit, all those who recognize light shining equally in every being. And you always belong to this cosmic family, only temporarily forgot while lost in smaller identifications.